Hello and welcome to today's Dalal Street Week Ahead video. Now in today's video we'll be taking a look at how the Nifty and Bank Nifty will most likely trade in the coming week. Plus we'll take a look at the stock specifics, which is Reliance Industries, HDFC Bank and Axis Bank. I'll take a look at each of them from the perspective of an option trader, equity buyer, either one who holds it already or one who is looking to make a trade in it. But before we do all of that, let's take a look at the key news which will be affecting our markets this week and how I believe it will play out. Now, the first news which I believe will really affect our market on Monday's trading session is the Kotak Mahindra's bank results. In fact, tomorrow morning there will be a short video coming out on that too. And Kotak Mahindra's bank results are dreadful according to me, and the market will be giving it a slap across the board most likely for that. So if Kotak falls, naturally it's going to have a good impact on the Bank Nifty, which will have a knock-on impact on the Nifty and Sensex. So tomorrow morning, the first 15 to 20 minutes trading plan, I will expect it to be driven largely by two stocks, Kotak Mahindra Bank and Reliance Industries. This is as Reliance is at a very crucial place, and that's why I'm covering it today. And Kotak is going to given horrible numbers. So these are the two which I believe will affect us on the local front, because this is a results earning season, so that's what drives it more than the news. Also on the local front this week, the Operation Sindoor is expected to be debated in the Indian Parliament, and that's going to create a lot of noise. This is as questions about the fighter jets being down and everything else are going to come up, which have not been answered by the government of India. So all that will have a knock-on effect on our markets, because anyone trading our Nifty, Bank Nifty, or the stocks knows the Indian market likes to celebrate bad news in a big way, but doesn't like to celebrate good news in a big way. From the past 1 to 1.5 years, this is the trend. So let's see how that. On the international front, this week is also heavy. US Fed meeting is there, the Q2 GDP numbers are there, the NFP numbers are there, non-farm payrolls, consumer confidence. We go to the European Union GDP Q2 numbers are there, retail sales, the CPI numbers, the Bank of Japan has a meeting, Canada has the BOC meeting, GDP, Australia won't bother because it's insignificant, even Canada is well largely insignificant in the bigger picture. So it is quite a news heavy week on the international front, plus the local front, plus we have our monthly expiry. So I expect this week to be a bit of a firecracker of a week. So let's see how we progress. Now coming to the stock specific plans, first we're going to cover HDFC Bank, after which we'll go down to Reliance Industries and Axis Bank. Now HDFC Bank, I'm going to zoom in because it's been in a box range for God knows how long. If we look at it, I've covered HDFC Bank many times in the past, because basically from this point, late April, we were in a box range and we formed a new box range here. So there's really not been much you can do with HDFC Bank. Now HDFC Bank released its results last week. Results were not good. However, HDFC Bank still had a positive small gap up. This is that day. And then after that, it has managed to sustain the gap up. Now, according to me, if HDFC Bank breaks the low of Friday, and it can do so now because of the Kotak Mahindra Bank has put a bit of a negative spin on the whole banking sector, then the first support, which is very crucial, is 1990. If it breaks that, it goes to 1975, which is very important, because if it breaks 1975, it will be going down to 1950 and then to 1915. And also if it breaks 1975, it goes back to the original box range it was in for nearly 2 to 2.5 months, if you count the number of trading days exactly. So that will be a problem. So my point of view for HDFC Bank, I don't believe it has right now the juice to cross 2020 and 2035, and most likely it's going to be going below 1990 if it breaks it in a big way, and 1975. If these two break, the whole picture of HDFC Bank goes back to long-term, medium-term box range for the stock. So how I'm trading it, I already hold C cells in HDFC Bank, and most likely this coming week I might be entering some more fresh C cells of August, but I'm going to see how it opens on Monday, and then I'm going to take a call on that, since already CE cells of July are being held, and I'm going to naturally be closing them as we have the expiry this week. That's why I'm starting to look at August. Equity, I don't think anyone should touch HDFC Bank, because there is nothing really in it worth in terms of investors, as you're just going to be putting your money in a stock that is going absolutely nowhere. And I believe HDFC Bank is not doing well in terms of, if you have an HDFC Bank account, you will know it's come one of the most difficult banks to deal with on anything. You want to give an update request, you want to give anything, it just doesn't happen. Horrible inefficiencies seem to have seeped into this bank. So I think in the private banking sector, the only one which has the very positive future is ICICI, then Axis, but not HDFC anymore. Next, we'll take a look at Reliance Industries. Now, as I had said, Reliance Industries has been doing badly. It's been in a box range for very long. Also, if you look at it in a medium-term picture, but it has been doing badly in the past week. And that has been largely due to the news which came about the oil refineries and EU sanctions and all of that. So that affected Reliance in a negative spin. Now I believe Reliance is at a very crucial phase, and we'll have to see on Monday to Wednesday's trading session if we can hold the zone between 1370 and 1390. I personally have entered PE sales of Reliance on Friday, and I'm waiting to see if this zone holds. If it holds, then we can go up towards 1418 and 1435. If we go towards that zone, then I might look to open CE sales too. This is, I think, Reliance will end up being box range bound. Large box range between 1435 and 1370. Small box range between 1418 and 1370. So Monday, if you break the low of Friday, fall to 1370. If you break that, then Reliance is in real trouble, because it will be going down to 1338 and 1320. And also, I believe this week will be heavy for Reliance since the parliament is reopening. There's going to be a lot of questions coming up about the Ambanis as usual, and they're linked to the government. So this will affect the stock and make it, I am hoping, make it volatile for intraday trading. So positional trading is one, but intraday trading is a completely different ball game. Next, we'll be taking a look at Axis Bank. Axis Bank. Now, Axis Bank had a big gap down post the results, and it has managed to hold that gap down. And when it had the gap down day, and the next day also, I added PE sales at the low, basically, a bit above the low price. So I'm holding those PE sales in Axis Bank. And why I did so that day, because I believed the gap down was excessive, and we have held that zone. As I believed you would hold that zone, we have been holding it. Now, according to me, Axis Bank, as long as it is above 1045 and the low which I've highlighted 1070, things are not that bad for it. It will basically dilly-dally around and then try to make its way slowly up. How I see Axis Bank technically, between 1045 and 1130, it's a box range. And most likely in August expiry, I might open C cells above 1130 and P cells below 1045, as I believe that box range will continue playing out. But I don't think Axis Bank is in that sort of a mess as what the gap down it got from the results. This is the results, according to me, were neutral. They were average. They were not great. They were not bad. Profit was in line. Everything was in line. Just the NIIs, the NPAs was a bit of a sticking point. But beyond that, no. So as I said, also on the equity trading front, I won't look at it Axis Bank so far right now, because as I said, between 1045 and 1130, it's going to just dilly-dally around. So at this point, I think it's more for C and P sellers. Like I said, I hold the July expiry ones, and I most likely will open in August expiry for C and P sellers in the coming week. This is as it has to be a neutral strategy of Axis Bank going absolutely nowhere. So that's it for today's trading session. For today's video. And if you liked it, then hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell too. Thank you.